Hello again. Perfect videos, perfect lighting. It's not going to happen. So at least getting her done, I'm getting it done. I wanted to get these videos done. This one is about how to buy, especially in a distressed property like a cash buyer. Sometimes it says cash buyers only. And most of the time, that's just because the list agent isn't educated on the other options that are there, which is stifling to the seller. Only people who've got cash, who believe they're the gift to every seller on the planet, are going to be bidding on the house. And they're expecting leeway because they've got cash. What do they have that the average buyer doesn't? The cash. Well, if they're closing very quickly and the money is sitting right there and it isn't subject to an appraisal, many of them have lines of credit that they're drawing from, and there are stipulations from it. And don't think a cash buyer can not fail and not close. They can fail just as easily. But if you're coming in with financing, how do you get the seller to sign your offer, especially on a distressed property? There are tons of ways to get anything that the seller fears will be a work order covered with your original loan. Any fix-ups, even if it's just an ugly kitchen with a move-in ready house that's not that distressed, you can actually finance that into your loan. Who would rather bring $10,000 cash to the table or $10,000 to spend out of pocket versus, say, $50 a month, or today $65 a month, depending on your rate that you're paying for that $10,000? I'm quite certain people would rather pay the $65 a month than come with the $10,000 out of pocket. Put that same thing into $100,000 worth of work that's being done to the property. When it comes down to it, if you don't have $100,000 or $50,000 or $25,000 cash after closing, you can't do the work. But if it's built into your loan, you can. So if $325 a month is better for you than $50,000 cash, then that's the product that you want. Better than that is that what work order could possibly come up with that bank appraisal that can't be covered inside the work? So anything that's found along the way for an owner-occupied buyer, you're in great shape. Plus, you can actually pay more for something you're going to live in because you're not turning this over to flip it. So you're not worried about paying all the interest from the day you close until you actually sell it to somebody else. You're not worried about the interest you're paying on the actual work that you've done or the cash out of pocket or trying to get it back. It's built into your loan. And you don't have to worry about paying 7-10% just selling the property 4 or 5 months from now. And then your profit on top of all that. As an owner-occupied buyer, in the end, you just want the best value. And you want the ability, most importantly, to buy it and to save that money so that you can do the work. The best part is that when you're done, hopefully that valuation has gone up by more than 20%. If it's worth your time to spend money on a refinance when the work's done, well, hallelujah. Now you can go ahead and get rid of your mortgage insurance as well. If you bought it for 80, you put 20 into it and it's worth 150, that's its value. So you're borrowing less than 2/3 of what you actually paid for it. And you can use those same numbers as you multiply by 200,000, 300,000. On top of that, out of pocket. Well, with an investor, they've got to come with a 20, 30% down just to get the bank's money. They're going to have to spend every dime they've got out of pocket in addition to that, plus the payments, plus selling it, and then getting the profit. You will come with your down payment, but your down payment is not going to be 20, 30%. It's going to be 3.5% or 5%. And that's not of the end value, that's of the original purchase price. So imagine your out of pocket is 3.5% or 5% versus 20+% down. Even more fun than that is that you're allowed to have seller paid closing costs. All that means is you're adding the money to your mortgage and asking for it back. The bank totally allows that. The seller can't contribute to your down payment, but they can for your closing costs. You're financing them into your loan. So imagine that. If you have an extra 3% put in there, and that 3% is $10,000, for example, you're getting a credit back at closing of $10,000. That means that your closing costs are mostly covered, if not all covered, depending on the loan. And your only out of pocket is the down payment, 3.5% or 5% down. So the out of pocket's even better. And the best part about it is it's as if you had all that money because in the end your loan is based on the total value with the work done. And you're in. So at the point of where you're actually presenting your offer. Even if it says cash buyers only, remember there isn't going to be the need for a work order if you're getting fixed up financing. And there are several products for that. But more importantly, the list agent has to understand it when you bring it, and your agent needs to make sure that they can sell it on your behalf so that you can get it done and buy like the investor you already are. Maybe then you just rent it out and buy another property a year later and do that on your owner-occupied loans. I'll show you how to do it. Either way, Merry Christmas. I just dated this video, but give us a shout. If you want to know how to do it, get it done, and win, give us a shout at Real Estate Solutions. Blessings.